Yeah, I'm DH 101.
You want one from the recording?
Then I found out
It's going to be a recording on there.
Oh, okay.
Right?
still DH 101.
Yeah, it just may not be coming through.
So I just used your Yahoo.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Hey, look at that.
Live on Facebook. Anyone does not want to be live. The last 3 tables over there are not on the video.
You're on the right table to be out of the view.
Cupcakes for anybody?
Ew.
I know, I'm like, you're onesie? Hi. You can probably see the full view of it. Oh, you can probably see the full view of it. Oh.
You can see it. Let me give you that.
Okay, so it is live.
Oh,
So,
here we are.
oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh.
One viewing. Is that you? You get excited about it.
Okay, there's a
Oh,
delay.
there's a
We had another opportunity.
I'm viewing it
Yes,
too.
Look at that awesome outfit.
There's 2. I'm on.
That was wonderful. His pictures are so
It's so clear.
That's awesome. I was like, I'm really glad.
And I should have mine on mute, you said?
At the last minute, I
Welcome.
found this one because I was going to wear the 15 panties.
That would be a little. Oh, it is delayed though. Interesting.
So if I step out early,
I was
it's
like,
like,
that would have been
That would-
And you're like, hi.
Is this
there are
posting from?
witnesses.
Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. Other than my corny family pictures, there's a whole lot that goes on there.
There's like a 5-minute delay.
No, I mean,
Because it's my
after
son's
all
30th birthday, so it's all we can think about is surprising him.
because we would get it.
I know he's getting contact all his friends. I don't even know, you know what I mean? I don't, like, how do we get in touch with him? And I know that's for him to like.
I've worn my hero outfit.
Because it was very good seeing you on your computer.
Hey, how are you?
Hi there.
There's a camera right behind you.
Oh, well, I don't want to sit in front. Oh, there you are.
How come all I can see is a big head?
Is it working? Hey, we've got 3 views. How many views?
I think we're 2 of them.
It's all right.
Yeah, there are some agendas up there, I think. There were. I got little half sheets over there.
Anybody else need one?
Oh, yeah, those are.
No, I
Yep.
got one. Alright, so I think everybody else.
Hey, well, we got quorum.
All right. Is it? I can't.
Yep, it's 7:04.
All right, so we can call to order. So, any minutes that we need to approve, or are we just rolling? Okay, on the tables? We wanna look over minutes, see if there are any comments, questions, edits? No, it went with us. All right, then we will just enter them as accepted, I guess.
Thank you.
Hey.
I guess we need a motion to accept minutes. Do I have a motion? So, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yay.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Gotta love Robert's rules, right? All right, so principal, what's going on?
All right.
You were just out of view.
I'm actually gonna,
Oh, okay.
I'll probably come over that way just so I can be in the view for everyone. All right, good evening, everyone. How we doing? Thank you for coming. Welcome, any Facebook fans. This is the inaugural first meeting on Facebook Live, so thank you to our PTA for getting this up and running. We appreciate it. I think in the long run, it will definitely benefit. We had a lot of positive comments coming through today after we sent that News You Choose So I think more people will definitely start to come online, as well as this will be saved on the site so that people can go back and see and hear and be part and communicate. And that's one of the biggest things that we're trying to do, is to make sure we're streamlining, that we're communicating to our community and getting people involved to help keep moving our school forward in the right direction. And I think we already started that, and we're going to continue it. And this beautiful attire tonight for the opening day, you know, this is, yeah, Melissa and I were like, are we gonna actually, our bosses were here today, I'll tell you why. We were like, we're gonna wear the pajamas through today, and then we're gonna have to go all day to this meeting, and we were like, you know what?
Might as well be comfy.
There's no shirt and tie, no shoes, right? All day, guys, right? When we get a day that we don't have to wear our shoes to work, it's really nice. So I'm gonna take every opportunity I can, because I do wear shirt and ties almost every day. So anyway, so we have been quite busy. We got a lot going on in the school. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of work that's happening with our students. Yeah, a lot of enthusiasm. We're looking at every little bit and inch of the school to see where we can improve academics and behavior. We'll talk about behavior too, because that is one of our biggest topics that we are dealing with here at our school, and that's where we're going to need some help from everybody to kind of contribute to this, because that we can talk a little bit more about that. But hard to believe it's the third quarter starting already. We're past or close to the 100th day coming up. We're going to be doing some activities in school for that. But it's just amazing that we've already passed the half point and we are home stretch. So it's just amazing. Third quarter brings so many things that are going to be happening in the school, from assessments to all the events that we have. We were looking at between PTA and school, and that's one of the areas that we're really looking and trying to consolidate and do things really well. Not a lot of them, but trying to do them better. And so that's what the school has been working on. But the weather delays have just really impacted a lot with inconsistencies. As you know, they're really tough decisions that the school officials have to make. Just so you know, they do have people that are in different parts of the county that help make those decisions, and safety has just become such a big issue. I know I live in Prince William, and God, they were closed on Monday and then delayed, and there was really nothing, but then you have Bull Run Mountain, and you know, I think the superintendent sent out, it's like 35 miles that stretches wide range, right? So the decisions that our bosses have to make is one I wouldn't want. You can't make everyone happy, but it looks like the weather pattern is going to continue into next week, so I'd be keeping my eye out for some more of this. But you know, it's good, we get to enjoy family time, but it's really inconsistent for coming back to school and starting up. But our kids seem to be doing okay, other than some of the behavioral concerns, but they're learning and moving forward. So I mentioned our bosses were here today. Becky Bainig, who some of you already know, is our assistant superintendent, and our assistants to her, Dave Jagels and Eric McKean, were here also to present our Teacher of the Year. Allison Alejandro, our third grade teacher, she was picked for our school to move forward, and then our pyramid, Westfield Pyramid, she was selected out of all the teachers. And they were here today because she was selected as the Region 5 Outstanding Teacher, which is fantastic. That, I will say, is 2 years in a row for Deer Park, because we had Karen Nelson, our 6th grade teacher last year, selected too, so that's fantastic. Very unusual to have 2 back-to-back years. There's a lot of competition, but we're excited. And so she will move forward in May for the opportunity to go against the 4 other regions and see if she can, and it's a panel interview. I know I've been through it. It's a panel interview and a whole bunch of activities she'll have to do, and then get to celebrate at the ceremony in May. So we're looking forward. We'll keep you posted how that goes. But either way, it's a win already. So she's just awesome. I've already mentioned about communication. Hopefully you've noticed that we've kind of combined. We're working, PTA's been getting us things, and we've been putting them in News You Choose, making sure that it's kind of one consistent message. I think that's been really effective, so I'd welcome any feedback. We generally try to only send that one, but if we have like specific grades or reminders or lunch updates, like, I just think, like, I get a text in Prince William, like, when lunch changes, because I know my kids are gonna be different of what they want. So we've been trying to send those types of updates for parents so that they're aware that if, you know, it was chicken nuggets and it switched to grilled cheese and my kid's not gonna eat it, we wanna make sure we're trying to be proactive and just give the information to help make decisions. And so that is just one aspect. We're also trying to include all the positive things that are happening. We get bogged down, you know, with 5–10% of our population that we have to work on behavior with. It's a school-wide impact, but we do need to celebrate all the good things that are going on. And we have a lot of good things going on here. And so one way we've been trying to put in News You some photos and visuals, and I think that's something with the school and the staff we've been talking about moving forward. How are we gonna look at grade levels and different opportunities to start showcasing and opening our doors even more here to get parents involved, participating, volunteering, different activities and programs where dads can get in the school and be part of this. And so there's gonna be a lot more coming down the pike. But I've only been here, less than 3 months now, and I feel like we've been working. I know our bosses have been impressed with us, but we've been working hard, and hopefully we'll see some return in other aspects. We're seeing it with staff, we're seeing it with some kids. So any feedback is welcome for News You Choose or communication, because we think that those are key aspects to a positive school culture. We have, like I mentioned, tons of fun, busy nights coming up. We're gonna try to, Melissa and I have been looking at all the activities, and we're trying to combine some of the things, trying to work with our colleagues to try to spread things out so that we are not asking the community for so much all at once. And I think now that I'm starting, and Melissa, we're starting to get a better picture of what all this is. Going into next year, as we've talked about, working with PTA, we're planning to have that full calendar kind of mapped out as best we can, but spread the wealth. I mean, we all have families and we want to be part, but we also need to take care of business here too. But we also can't expect to have 2–3 events in 1 week. It's just not realistic for anybody. And if we want a good turnout and something to be successful, we need to be mindful of all those aspects. So a lot of us are working behind the scenes and trying to figure it all out. This year, just be patient, because we're making some changes, little changes that are coming, and we'll get there. I talked to Ms. Miller and Melissa tonight about the testing window. We are coming out of iReady and WIDA testing for English language learners, and with all those delays, it just impacts everything. But we will be getting a SOL schedule for your planning to try to ensure that our attendance is good on those days in May. Testing window is May.
It opens May 6th, but right now, the schedule is ready to go. We're just waiting, and we heard that there would be possibly additional word from BDOE about potential impacts to the schedule. So as soon as we hear that final word, we'll publish the schedule.
Yeah, so once we get that, we'll get it out, and then we can plan around it. And that window is usually like 3 weeks to a month, so, because we have the retakes and all of the kids that are absent and trying to get that done. And this year school ends so early that it feels like it's much tighter. So anyway, that's what's happening in the school. I'm happy, welcome to take any questions. We just see that we're headed in the right direction. The morale is up. Some of the anxiety and stress levels are dropping a little bit. I think we're moving in the right direction, and just glad to be here. So any questions, I'm happy to take if anybody has anything for the good of the audience. How many people we got in there?
We got 7.
Crickets?
They say the sound is perfect. Thanks for making this option available.
Awesome. Yeah. And I will tell you, just from experience and doing this at Lee's Corner, we did start with small numbers, 7, 10, 12, and then 20. But the biggest return is that it's taped. And the hits after, where you have presentations, people could come in and out where they would want the next day, the week later. And we noticed, with 300, maybe 400 people that were part of the Facebook account, there were like 250 to 300 hits, not necessarily that night, but that people could go to. And I think that's really important, because we all have different schedules, kids and everything else, going to practices, and to ensure that there's a voice and that they can hear what's going on. This is a good option to get out, and I think it's just gonna really benefit us down the road. So thank you for making it happen. I know it's not easy, but we will continue to work on any of the issues.
I know.
Yeah, you're in it no matter what. So-
It's like they're seeing, right?
Yeah, so anyway, back to Molly, if there's no questions for us, I mean,
I'll just have
go
a
ahead.
comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really do appreciate the change of lunch schedule. I tried to respond to the email, but it wasn't one that you could respond to, but yes, that's the change to the lunch
To
schedule. The email.
updating,
Yes,
just to help you.
that is helpful.
I know my daughter, I mean, she's just so, well, I'm not gonna say she's picky like a BS, picky about her food, and it's just sometimes, you know, we pack her lunch or we don't, and it changes, and it just, so we're gonna continue to try to do that, and we're also gonna work with food services, because
Try to get it earlier.
earlier, but also, so the school doesn't have to do it, the county consent or our cafeteria staff can put it into a text and that goes out very quickly. So there's some different options we can potentially look at, but in the meanwhile, we'll get the News You Choose out or Keep in Touch. Really, for emergency type things, Keep in Touch is really the way to go. But News You Choose is more for the messaging and other things, so. But thank you, I appreciate that. We're trying to make sure that we're like, did we remind people of this? Did we do this? But now that I'm starting to get a little bit more understanding of how everything's working, we're really been collaborating and trying to make those connections and trying to remind people and get the information out. And something as simple as sending out a reminder about tonight, you know, and giving people opportunity, because again, our lives are just going in so many different directions. So, any other questions? Thank you for the comment. All right, go ahead.
The spring book fair has moved. I'm sure everybody's picked up on that date. So first
And I
late
think we've
night
got the new one down
shopping
here.
is March the 8th.
Yeah, we
First late
definitely
night.
have, thank you, Danette, we definitely have some things that are tweaking, and we're still looking at making a few other changes and combining. I know we didn't have a chance to chat, but we're gonna share, we can share that with you as well about the Culture and Heritage Night, that what our ideas around that, and trying to move things around to, but yeah, so, thank you. Yeah. Anything else? All right, I'll come back when it's yearbook time with Megan, because we have some great news about that. Some actually fantastic news, so.
All right, so, I don't have anything in particular other than what's already listed here, so rather than saying it and then looking at it again, let's just move on. Ways and Means, we still have a position open. It is one of 3 that will be up for reelection, starting in June, right? June is when we hold elections for next year's officers.
Can you explain what that means to people who might not,
Okay,
who might be new
sure,
to the
yeah. We are gonna have an open house during the May meeting to kind of talk in more detail about the open positions, but Ways and Means basically coordinates the committees. They ask for input from all of the committee chairs, kind of see if what needs to be done, reported out, followed up on, that type of stuff. So it's mostly management behind the scenes, right?
Correct. Well, and also, and fundraising.
Yes.
So managing, you know, if there is a fundraiser happening, the Ways and Means Chair is responsible for, you know, working with that person or touching base with that person, and you know, you're kind of working together to raise funds, and it's really about just communicating and knowing what's going on.
Membership.
Nothing
Anything?
new, nothing new to report on membership. We are in the same place that we were last reported, which I know is numbers with you, but wherever we were last time, we're still there.
That's okay.
We didn't go down in membership.
No, I know.
As long as we didn't go down, we're okay.
Perfect opportunity though to
Exactly.
recruit perfect opportunity right now to recruit new members, if you'd like to do a little spiel.
Yeah.
Just a little one.
So if you'd like to join the PTA, you can go online to nationalpta.org, and you can put in Deer Park, search for Deer Park, Centerville, Virginia, because there is another Deer Park in Virginia, elementary, and yeah, Deer Park, Centerville, Virginia, and you can just join the PTA as well.
Okay, great.
If you have any questions, please just let us know.
It's also, is that on our website as well, our PTA website?
We have a link
I think there's a
to
link
it.
there.
There's the membership form, like if you want a piece of paper to fill out, is there, and in there is a link.
So that's also an option.
You said nationalpta.org.
Yes.
Yeah.
And search for Deer Park Elementary in Centerville.
Yes.
Thanks.
Or on our or on
Or
the
on
PTA website, right?
Okay.
Treasurer.
so, probably can't see me, so I'll just talk loud. The budget's looking good. You know, the first half of the year is usually where we raise a lot of our money, between the big fundraiser, the Fun Runner Boosterthon, and other smaller, fall fundraisers. We typically raise most of the money in the fall and then start spending it around now, which is starting to come in. We've spent most of our conference and staff support budget for the year, which is great. I'm glad people were able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I'll just jump in on that one.
Yeah.
We've been talking more as a staff about types of conferences and getting out of the building. We need to see other practices in the school district. And so that's some of it, but also having opportunities to go places. And the goal is teachers that have the opportunity to go out to a conference, we'd like them to come back and start presenting here at the PTA, especially now that we can broadcast it, so that we can all benefit from their learning and to hear where our money is going and how it's going to benefit our children moving forward.
Yeah,
So
cool.
just so you know where that conversation has been at.
Yep, okay. Yep, we also have a few line items that we haven't allocated anything to, like curriculum materials. So I will say the budget is set and then voted on by the PTA membership, but that doesn't mean it can't, we can't shift things around as we figure out where the needs are,
Yeah.
particularly for the stuff going to Deer Park. If you guys decide that you'd rather shift some of that curriculum material money over to send someone else to a conference, that's fine, we just need to vote on it, but it's never been a problem before.
Thank you for the flexibility.
Yeah, so, budget's looking good.
And the cultural arts I see there too, we're starting to look at, I've had I'm trying to breathe, but we're trying to look at a couple options for the spring. Probably, at least one will be related to some sort of behavioral, making connections about good choices, kindness. We're doing the bucket filling for next week, but spreading all those types of characteristics around and following through. So the more we can reinforce it through home, school, and assemblies that are good, that's what we're going to be looking at. So we do have some ideas that we're going to start to utilize that a little bit more.
Yeah, great.
Okay, just so you know.
And then looking at our income and expenses over the period from the last PTA meeting. Most of our expenses were for the staff support line item. We have a few other various budget requests, but then the really cool thing here is over 2 Spirit Nights, we've earned something like $750. So those have been really successful recently. So hopefully we can keep that up going through the spring.
I couldn't find any restaurants that would respond for February, so we had a down month this month.
That's okay, we can take a break after those two. Yep, so that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
That's great.
We also did get an updated square.
Yeah, I've
So
got
we can do
that
the
here.
chip reader for future events,
cool.
so.
Yeah, I think we need to give these out tonight. Someone needed it
Yes.
for the skate, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're gonna start trying to use that. Yeah, and we'll talk after to get it set up and everything.
So that's new opportunity. Our secretary is momentarily delayed, working on something else. But make sure you sign in, right? That's the key thing. Make sure the sign-up sheet goes
Where's
in.
that sheet?
Someone.
Yep, it's right here. Does anyone else need it?
All right, and so committee reports, the faculty rep, anything?
Thank you for being here, staff. I didn't mention that. We
Yes, we're half
appreciate it.
staff, that's awesome.
Yeah.
April could not be here tonight. She's got 3 places to be and only one of her, so we had to take the hit. Teacher Appreciation Week has been set for the end of April, beginning of May. She will be contacting people soon about that. She also wanted to make sure people knew that they have to move next year. Tim is sending them elsewhere.
Oh, Oh.
And so we're gonna need a new room parent coordinator and someone to do the Thanksgiving lunch. So we need to start tapping into people, because April's done a lot, for the school over the last 10 years. And so she's gonna be a hard act to follow in a lot of ways. So.
When is she leaving before teacher appreciation?
No,
At
she'll be
end
here
of
through the end of the school year.
Okay.
Mhm.
No.
Yes.
That's a serious week.
Yes, no. She's got-
Spend that one
Day
before.
Communications, we're still looking at options for the new website and kind of figuring out a way to make sure that that meets our needs, gets communication across in a way that's clear and intuitive. We also want to look at doing the square link on that, so we can start doing stuff online through the websites too. So that's in progress still. We're not sure whether we're gonna have the ability to roll it out before the spring fling. That was the hope anyway, but we're not quite sure where we are yet on that. But we're working on it. Definitely by next fall at the latest, but hopefully later this spring.
Yeah, and I didn't mention the rebranding of Bucky as
Yeah.
well. That's something that we're gonna bring up to the staff and to show some of the things that Alan created, and hopefully have the student body vote on that to help us determine. And there might be a few versions for different events, I don't know.
Yeah.
But we need to get that, whatever it is, on our website off that deer. That sad deer. It's like a weeping.
stamp.
So-
USPS stamp.
We need to be tough here, right? We need to show some oomph. What is it? Oomph, I'm guessing.
Chutzpah.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see some of the designs?
Yes.
Looks good.
Yeah, they look great. So I think having the student buy-in and going on the news show in the morning and kind of sharing with the kids and get them to vote, when you vote and get a voice, it goes a long way. And so from there, we can start thinking about spirit wear and how we want to utilize that, and that will be definitely some, a good bang for a buck here as well, thinking about that moving forward, so.
After-school activities, chess is the only club running right now through the winter. I think we're halfway done. We missed 1 week because of weather, so there will be a makeup added to that. And then the spring sessions start right before spring break.
Speaking of after-school things or activities, a company some of you may be familiar with is OTA, Overtime Athletics. Melissa and I have been in talks with them and met with them, bringing the program here for the summer. It is a sports activity camp, and it's gonna run 7 to 8 weeks. Generally outside, they do come in for lunch and use the building a little bit, but the great thing is the starting price. We're looking at a $99 fee for an entire week. It is, you can't beat it. You cannot beat, if you know about childcare in summer. So that will be probably a price for a few years, and it will gradually increase a little bit, but generally, still, it's a great offering. It's a sports activity which so many kids love, and we can draw from other communities that don't have, if it's London Town, Cub Run, whoever it is, they can join in ours, and we benefit by getting the funds that come with it.
Yeah, London Town used to have one, but they stopped.
They stopped doing
last
it?
year, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's been really successful.
Yeah, my kids have done it the last few years and have loved it. It's been
The
very.
kids, we get a
yeah.
huge, from the past, there's been a huge, kids love it. And there hasn't been really any issues with it, and it's a good return for your dollar. And there's like before and after care too, so if you have hours with your job that need that, I guess there would be an additional expense, but the school gets a pretty good, nice amount. I think at Lee's Corner, we started like maybe 1,800 profit the first year, then we got to like 3,000, the last year it was like 40 grand. That was coming to the PTA, that then we turned around and used for the school, so, the funds may have to come through the PTA, but I'm doing all the legwork, and that will be shared, the flyer will be coming through News You Choose, and you just log in and do that, so.
Did you say that's for this summer?
This summer, gonna start, yeah, so something to start planning, and if we get it out soon enough, people could start thinking about it. And you could, if you're on vacation 1 week, it's weekly, so, we'll figure that out.
And that's on my to-do list, once I get down to that half of the to-do list, is to start looking at, we've had a couple of the same type of after-school activities for the last couple of years. And so I do wanna start, during the school year, start looking at a greater variety, and seeing who else we can bring in, and having something at least 2 to 3 days a week after school, and trying to make sure we have opportunities for kids of various interests for after school. Alan's not here for military, so
Well,
you have, okay, sure.
Because last weekend he had the clothes donation and he said it was like very busy. He filled up his car and had to come back and fill it up again, and he's running out of space in his house. And so we are currently looking for a storage unit that Home Depot will donate to us, and she's working on
They're
that.
in the talks with corporate right now for a 7x7, delivered and installed. So corporate has to be okay. The manager says yes, but he has to get it okayed first. We just need a concrete slab put in, hopefully somebody can donate time, or we could do the crushed gravel idea. We have to have a foundation before they deliver it, so that's.
So we'll work out, once we get the okay from Home Depot, then we'll get the paperwork side of things rolling here, because there needs to be the red tape and the approvals of what it is, and then the county will generally either do it, or if you have someone that will be offering, as long as they're, if they're not a contractor within Fairfax County on the list, they do have to go through an immensely large filling in of a contract. But I will tell you that, as is shared with Becca, the gravel is much cheaper and than the pavement, and it should work. I don't see why that wouldn't work, but
Is the old parking lot where the old playground used to be, would that be
that's
possible?
that's what we're thinking over there. So that's the thought. I wonder if the parking lot, yeah, that may be an option.
They'd be probably willing to do it.
Yeah.
I'd say go ahead and get the paperwork started.
Okay.
Once Home Depot gets the approval, they can literally deliver it within 2 weeks.
Megan, maybe we can take a roll out there and take a look. Not tonight. But another day, right. So we'll get it rolling. That's awesome, though, thank you.
Yearbook.
Woo-wee.
It has been a learning process for us. Becca and Jenny and I have been working on it. We're trying to get class list proofed by all the teachers, making sure all students are represented in their class picture. We will be taking our own pictures of any student that missed their picture day, or that was absent and couldn't come, or has moved into the school lately. About March 1st is when we'll stop doing that, because we can't keep track of who's in and who's out. At this point, we're looking to sell pre-orders for $22, which is a couple dollars less than last year. We were able to get it down a little bit.
Yeah, we got a little down this year, but next year it's even
Next year
better,
will
I'll
be
tell you
better.
after.
Anything purchased after April 5th will be $25. We are also in works with PTA. We have talked about buying some page inserts for students who may not be able to afford that $22, $25 yearbook. And they would be able to get a pack of 4 stapled together inserts that would allow them to still get autographs and things like that. So we understand that some families have 3, 4 kids here, and that can get really expensive.
Can I just interject for a second about that cost? So, I'm just gonna add this part before I talk after you're done. That we talked to Life Touch about the cost. We did get it down about $3 to 15 and change plus delivery, like $15.75. We left it at 22 because that was the profit margin that the PTA had set from, to my knowledge, from last year. So that's why it was only a $3 difference from, because last year you charged 25, we went to 22, we left the late ones at 25. But we could have went lower, but we left the profit margin where it was, based on what I knew. So that's where we are at, and we have more on that coming, but I'll let Megan finish her.
So what we came up with about looking at our different list, we're hoping maybe 75 to 100 inserts.
And those were only like 45
45
cents a piece.
for
so
4 pages.
For
minimal.
4 pages.
Yeah.
So it would be really great to have those for those kids.
We're talking like $40.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's a good way to start with that equity piece and really include everyone. office is going to, they have kind of asked, or they're going to make labels for all the pre-orders. That way you're not having to pay an extra $4 for your student's name to be put on the yearbook. So they're gonna cut back those for everyone, but those will be for pre-orders. Anyone else will have to just write their name in. The one thing I do need to know is if PTA needs a receipt book for any orders done in cash or check, I think.
Yeah, I'll need, there's a standard.
They'll give us a receipt
form.
book.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need the receipt book. What I will need for, particularly for cash, is the standard PTA, you know, deposit
Okay.
form.
And Mrs. Overson is kindly taking that on top of also helping us create. So we can work with her and I'll get you
Yeah.
an email.
Yeah, it just needs 2 people to sign off
Okay,
that
great.
this is what you're giving me, so that when I deposit it, it's.
So can I just propose something additional? I know we processed this and we went through it, and when we think about equity and making sure that all our kids have access to everything that we're doing. So last year, my understanding, we sold about 220 yearbooks.
209 pre-sale, 230 last.
Okay.
total.
So we have roughly almost 600 kids in this building. So knowing that, what I know that if the price comes down, we're gonna start probably having more purchases. But for this year, we're gonna assume that's gonna be pretty close to that 230 mark, right? So we have 370 kids that will not have it. I know the original purpose was for a group of kids, but really we're talking $150 to ensure that every kid has some sort of autograph, instead of just assuming that it's just this one group of students. So I don't know, we could figure out a way to, I mean, it's only about $150 for
And the
about
pages
300.
don't have like a date or anything on it.
No, we could always
reuse
Yeah.
these at some
If we
point
have more
in the
purchases
future.
or not,
Yeah.
I just think if we're gonna do it, maybe
I
we should
agree.
do it for all, instead of just having, just to give out, then you're gonna have a kid who didn't order a yearbook,
Mhm.
and you're giving it to one kid and the other kid's not gonna have it, so. I don't
No,
know,
I
just-
think that's a great idea. Life Touch was going to have us up the amount if we sold it to parents, but we've asked that we try to take that on and purchase it ourselves, and they'll give it to us for the 45 cents.
So
So
you said we have, how many, 600?
We have about 600 students, and 230 purchases, that leaves 370, 100.
Well, even if, if we get enough for every kid to have one, regardless of whether they have a yearbook or not. Right? But that's $300 that we're roughly spending. And then those who get yearbooks don't need one, and we can just stockpile those for the future. I don't personally see an issue.
Just something
It
to
might,
do.
yeah, then we have them, right?
Yeah, just
And-
something to vote on, I guess.
Yeah, because I think we would, I mean, that since it's not in the budget for that amount, or do we have to earmark part of the yearbook?
I mean, we
funds
have a
for that?
yearbook line item. I don't know if we even need to officially vote on it, but we might as well. I'll make a motion that we increase our yearbook line item
What
by
is the line item?
$200 to account for
Oh, I
It's
see.
Yeah.
purchasing the inserts.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
That'd be great.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Pass.
All right, sounds great. Thank you, guys. Last thing is April 5th is the deadline for all pre-orders, and then we will be getting forms very soon. Those will come as soon as they get shipped here. And then the last thing I have is just we'll need to account for the 3 yearbooks we promised for the 3 winners. So other
And then
than
the
that,
absolute yearbook order deadline is,
that is a great question.
I believe.
I believe
it's
they
April
do like
20.
an overrun to a certain amount, because we've been held to a contract number we have to have if we
Yeah.
don't oversell them. And so that would be like your after date. So we may have some in hand at the end of the year.
Okay.
Pre-order is the best.
But we're gonna get this information out
Yes, as soon as we
early,
can.
often.
And you said the pre-order was,
Deadline is by
you know,
April
the price was
5th, is 22.
perfect.
And we are desperately trying not to do it when class pictures are there too, because it's the same envelope
Cost.
Yes,
size
it's confusing.
and the cost as well, so.
Yeah, those rolled out last year.
Last year was
at the
very
same time,
confusing.
And I was like, what is
And a
this?
lot of people
Yeah.
thought they bought a yearbook and they actually bought class pictures.
Yeah.
So,
We were trying to think of like end of February, March money, and then April money,
Yeah.
so parents would have spread out a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's a lot getting hit. So many different areas.
Do you know if we've discussed if there's a way for class photos to end up in the yearbook?
I think they come out too late.
Oh,
Is it the
okay.
class thing? We have to have everything done by like April.
Or April,
or
yeah. April
1st of April, so class pictures don't even get done until end of April.
Oh, okay.
So it's really hard to include those
Yeah,
class
never mind.
pictures in there.
Just
We are, every grade level will have their own montage page, so we've been trying desperately to get every kid, at least a couple times in the yearbook.
Yeah.
So the last piece, thanks Megan, thanks for your work, thank you guys for helping. The last piece about the yearbook, I've been involved more with the yearbook than I think I've ever been, but I'm fighting for the school and every inch and everything that we do, but we're switching to Barksdale next year. We had them here. They are offering a tremendous amount of extras to our school, and ultimately they came back with a price for the yearbook, 60 pages, which is what Life Touch was. They gave us an offer of 14, they came down to 13, I fought back and said 12. And so our yearbook price next year will be a cost to us of $12. Wow. So yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
So advocating is huge on everything that we do. We need to not just sit back on, and we need to push people. And there's a lot of competition. Barksdale is a great company. They are just recently getting into Fairfax County. And they're just offering a lot of incentives, not just with the price, but with our pictures and things that they're doing for the school as far as banners and different things. So at $12 base price, we'll be able to keep our profit margin and come down to hopefully, $17, $18 a yearbook next year, which is almost 100% decrease from 2 years. And late, we could maybe still charge 20, but maybe our base price is down to 17, 18, and still get a profit margin that we're looking for to help with the overall budget. So it's great
That's awesome.
news, and Melissa's been a big part of that, and Cindy, Megan's mom, helping us with some of it. I would say Life Touch is a little disappointed, but they had opportunity to negotiate, and they came down a little bit this year, and I just felt like this company, we wanted to give them a shot, so that's where we're headed. And now I'm falling out of it.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a question.
Yep.
At one point last year, we talked about, because we have old yearbooks at old yearbooks, like kids are probably in high school now. Do we know who they are? Because we were kind of thinking.
The office has
Do
them
we?
all.
Because we were thinking like we could sell them to Westfield students or Stone
Well,
students.
they
that
just
we
have one
Yeah,
copy.
they just have the
Is it
office.
just one copy?
The office keeps one
Usually,
copy every
one
year.
copy.
I thought we had like a
copies.
a box in the closet or
So
something.
I think there was boxes.
Yeah, that I don't, I'll have to look through the closet.
Be careful.
We're not
Swallow
talking
your
about a single
bowl.
copy, we're talking about
If
the
the
actual.
very first yearbook were available, I want it. I came
Are you in
here,
it?
yeah, my opening year, and I don't have a yearbook, so.
It's so cool.
Boy,
I don't even
that could
think-
go for a lot of money.
I don't even think the office,
Highest bidder.
yeah, the office doesn't even have the first year yearbook. Yeah.
That's too bad.
You should go look
in the PTA closet.
Yeah.
It's a fun place.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
we
I
have
got
to.
first
Okay.
dibs.
Yeah.
So it was something that, yes, we would like to.
And even if we sell them for
have
like $10 a piece or $5 a piece, just to get rid of them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's profit at this point,
Yeah,
right?
we
We've
can
already
go
paid
back
for
and
it.
check it out.
I think Matt was saying $1, it was like, well, I think we could get a little more than $1.
Our effort,
They're
come on,
vintage.
$5. So, anyway.
All right, awesome. All right, so Spirit Nights, Dave mentioned, we got $350 from Texas Roadhouse, so thanks everyone.
And that was not a weather day?
It was an iffy night, but it wasn't, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Moe's is coming up on March 6th from 5 to 8. We do have celebrity scoopers who are gonna be there to be our chip scoopers at various times during that
We don't want to
window.
mess that up. Chip scooping.
And then we're gonna have a prize wheel, whatever Moe's, they're gonna have like freebies to give out where people can like spin a wheel and get, I don't know what, but something.
Chips.
Chips or queso or I don't know what they're gonna get, but that would be that.
Did you say that's from 5 to 8?
5 to 8, yes, on the 6th. And then April, I didn't want to do it this way, but people are so slow responding to stuff at these restaurants sometimes. So Chipotle, so we get Tex-Mex back to back, right, is going to be April 2nd. It was originally April 9th because I wanted to avoid Heritage Night. But then that Chipotle closed. The location we had booked at went out of business. So I had to move to the next closest Chipotle, and the only day they had available in April outside of spring break was the 2nd of April.
That's ironic, because we moved Norman to the Heritage Night, so you're.
So that's
You're
fine.
good.
Like, ah!
You're good.
And Dave knows, because what they did is, so I emailed him and said, hey, the restaurant closed, what's going on? I'm like, oh, just reapply. So I go, and because you have to go through their link, like there's one link that everyone in the world uses to do a Chipotle Spirit Night.
Could we move to a further date?
Well, the
Or we
problem
can't
is
go without it.
you can't change it, I've gotta resubmit it, and then it took me 5 times. They kept saying, you already had a night, we can't approve another one, I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, and their online form is
And they're,
ridiculous.
oh, so it's
It's
the
right
one by
by
Wegmans now, is the new one, but it took them like 5 rounds of people finally understanding what I was trying to tell them before they approved, like they automatically kept refusing it, and I'm like, and then Dave had to keep filling out the same information, like pages of financial
Yeah, no,
information
it's-
to get it, so please
It's
don't
worse
make
than
me.
tax.
Anywho, thank you. But that's the next one, and I'm still working on May. Again, responsiveness, I'm trying for Sweet Gold
Okay.
as a May one, kind of end of the year, more summery style. But that's another, fill out the national form and wait 6 weeks for people to get back to you type of thing, so. But anyway, I think we are gonna be able to meet our Spirit Night goal for the year though, we're most of the way there. Last year, I know I think we only had like 2 or 3 Spirit Nights all of last year.
Yeah, no, we were
so-
way under last year.
way, so hopefully we'll get there. And if people have ideas for restaurants that we've not hit, or that we have a connection with, let me know, and I can add that to the list of possibilities for future, because I'd like to try to spend my summers getting a lot of this stuff rolled out, so I don't have to be doing it during the school year.
We redo Jersey Mike's because they were really nice and let us all order and added it to the bill. And it was like for the next day, so they're good company to work with, I feel
Yeah.
like.
All right. Thanks. All right. Bingo nights, I don't know if we have anything planned for the spring yet. I'll have to talk, I think Jenny, right, is the one who's taking over. I have to ask her.
Yeah, that one may be a little tricky because of the, well, spring break, but also we have the big events.
Spring fling, yeah, it's getting close.
Yeah, she did mention that she was looking at doing one in the
What
spring.
my thought was, after the big event, that the bingo night would be the end to the end of
Maybe
the
early
school
June.
year.
Maybe.
Because we don't have
Farewell,
anything really going
farewell.
on at the end of the school year.
Yeah, and that's an easy one to pull together without a lot of.
And May is, we don't want to take away from, why can't I think right now? So we've got yearbooks coming up, people ordering from yearbooks, and then we have,
Pictures.
you know,
Class pictures.
class
and spring fling.
pictures, and then, yeah, so we've got a lot of fundraising going on for the school, but this is the big one. I know that's coming up next, we'll talk about it
Yep.
soon.
Box tops.
So this Friday is the deadline for the contest, but that doesn't mean that we should stop collecting box tops. It just means I have enough time to submit it for the box top submission due May 1st. So I'll probably do another contest the second half that will be November submission, just to give us a good head start. Now, we did receive a check, and it was like $300, but I don't see that in the budget. Dave, I mean, I know that our office received it, but do you have it, Dave? I mean, do you know where it is?
For box tops?
Yes.
Mm-mm. No, I haven't seen a box tops check.
Okay.
I don't recall anything else.
Oh, I thought you received one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was it for?
There
That was
was a
the
check.
fall submission, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fall submission. It should have been delivered in January, but last meeting you said that it came in.
All right, we'll
It was
follow up
around
with you.
300, so I'll follow up on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you're probably absolutely right. I have no idea.
Okay.
I'll check with her tomorrow morning and get back to you. That was prior to last meeting, right, Megan?
Mhm.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
Spirit Wear, we had already talked about, waiting for the rebranding of Bucky, to put the push on that. And sprinkling.
Alright, so for the spring fling, we, need to get an approval for the budget, so I guess we need to vote tonight. So right now, in the budget right now is 1,000, and that was pre-planning, and I guess in November, we're like, let's make this a big event. We have a great team of 3 people that we're working really hard on this. We wanna make it Bucky's block party, so, we're asking for more money, but, here, so, there you go. Alright, so the whole idea of Bucky's block party, that's gonna be, Friday, May 17th. We're gonna have 2 portions of it. One's going to be in the, parking lot with moon bounces, and we have, what?
Oh.
Did everybody go? So we have, in the parking lot, we have the moon bounces, and we are gonna have the dunk tank. We're gonna have, 3 food truck vendors, and each of them are going to do a profit of their sales. And then we have a snow cone truck, because it's gonna be around dinner time. And then the inside, we are going to have, like vendors, and what we're doing with all the clothes that we're collecting, we're going to have a sale where they're all being sold for $1 in the cafeteria, and then in the gym is going to be a glow party. So we're making this a big event, and so our next step right now is to get approval on the budget, and based on the vendor donations and the estimated profit, which we are going to do pre-sale $20 VIP package. And that includes a wristband and tickets. And the wristband basically is going to be an unlimited on the moon bounce. We're gonna have 3 different moon bounces. So they're buying a wristband, unlimited time on the moon bounce for 4 hours, and then tickets will go towards concessions and dunk tank and face painting, maybe a cakewalk, and also a glow party package that they're gonna get for their sales. So I was very conservative. I did 75 sales of $20, and then for 1,500. So then the day of sales, we're estimating we want 100 people to spend $20, and we do think that's doable with the wristbands being $15, and then $5 tickets to get cotton candy, popcorn, or the glow stick for the party. So with that, the estimated profit's going to be around $3,600, and basically we would be making money off this event. So we are asking for money, but ultimately we're going to be making about $1,500 on this event. So that is
Quick clarification.
Yes.
Is there a difference in what the pre-sale VIP gets you for the same cost as at the door?
you get more tickets and you get a party package. for the
Okay,
glow.
all right, that's what I wasn't clear on, okay.
Yeah. And we want to start marketing this in March, and we want to put the food truck logos on the marketing to kind of draw people in. That's one of the draws, and plus I kind of promised that. So,
Free advertising.
yeah.
Yes.
And we'll probably do the pre-sales. I don't want to get in the way of yearbooks, so maybe we'll start pre-sales in the middle of April once yearbook's done. And I know it's back to back but it is.
So sponsors, our previous meeting, PTA meeting, we discussed sponsors possibly paying for this. I have done the legwork, let me tell you. Stores are just not willing to give monetary donations. They're willing to give goods to do a silent auction or whatever it may be, but we can't do much with goods other than have like a table where people can put tickets with their name on it to win them. But that doesn't help us to pay for that. So that's why we are asking for a larger budget. Target is offering a $40 gift card. Home Depot is possibly doing the 7x7 storage unit. But my list of sponsors that I've walked
into, it's all pretty much, either they don't participate or managers are never available. So, we're still working out if we can get sponsors to help pay for that. And if we can, then that's great, because we can pay back towards the budget. So I'm still working on sponsors.
Not an easy job, thank you.
Yeah.
Megan, I'm gonna ask you about the VIP or the $20 cost. Is there, have you guys thought about like a family pack? Just because I know there's, you know, so many families that have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. You know, is there a disc, I mean, is it?
Yeah.
I don't
Is it
know.
buy two, get one half off? Is it?
See, I thought, I mean, I can do that, but I feel like that'd be more complicated.
That's up to you guys, I'm just throwing it out
I
there,
mean,
I know that
We've
there's,
discussed, we're
Okay.
still kind of we're still gonna tweak it.
okay.
So, this is just kind of,
You know, like 3 kids is $50.
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
You know, something that's simple and easy, but there's a discount to,
Right, or it's kind of like, here's your price, or Family Max is.
Yeah.
Right.
And we
Okay.
can
3 or
even- we
more
can-
is $50, but if you have 4 kids, you have
We
4
can
kids
even
for free.
advertise, bring a friend from another school, you know, stuff like
Because
that, yeah.
they're gonna bring money into it anyway.
We are also, by the way, going to be publicly posting this as a community event, not just a Deer Park event.
Great idea.
So we are hoping that even the Cub Run Lemon Town communities can come and join us. Yeah.
And I do think, to make it simple about the pre-sales, I like the idea of a family max. You know, is it $20 per VIP package, family max of $50 or whatever?
Yeah, you could even maybe itemize it, like, whatever per child or Family Max is that. So if you leave 3 children, it's not
Yeah.
going to go above.
Because that doesn't
whatever.
include food, right?
Yeah.
That's just
Right.
including,
We will also have
you know,
individual ticket sales available at the
Yeah.
door. So if the kids didn't buy the VIP package, they just come the day of and they buy tickets, they can buy single tickets or however we're doing that. the day of. Right, it's $1 a ticket, yeah.
How are you marketing this community?
So, we're gonna be doing Facebook yard sale pages. I am on like 10 of them, Centerville, Chantilly, Clifton, things like that. I was thinking Craigslist, I don't know how safe Craigslist would be to.
We can send it to Cup Run and London Town Principals
Yeah.
Administration. And, you
is
know,
it like a
so-
Centerville patch? Is it, and stuff like that? Like,
What if you did local, like homeowners associations as well nearby?
That's a great idea. I'm gonna write them down.
Because they said they have email lists as well.
Yep.
and some stores will allow you to post a flyer. Like I know Giant has like a
Yeah, they have that
board,
community
Panera
board.
has the
We were
board.
going to
Starbucks
be
does the
doing-
same thing.
Yeah.
Flyers do make good.
And we could just spend that like through SYA or something like that. I
Mhm.
think it would work well.
Great idea.
Local scout troops.
Yeah, we were actually gonna see if a scout troop would wanna come and do activities with the kids, cause that's part of community service hours. So I wasn't sure if that's badge worthy or.
Good community relations.
Yeah.
You had them working like ticket counters and stuff, it might be.
Say that again?
You had working like tickets or
Yeah.
everything else. it might be.
Supervising bounce houses.
And another idea we had was possibly having like Westfield's our high school, right? Having Westfield football team maybe do like teach kids how to throw balls and things like that.
Right.
So we're trying to get
Yeah.
as much of the
Sounds
community, schools and neighborhoods involved.
Yeah, so remind me and I'll send a note to the local Boy Scout troops
Okay.
and see if they can supply anyone. Just
It's
remind me.
also a great, place for them to set up a table for signups, Boy and Girl Scout.
Oh, were you asking for the 6th grade volunteers? Is that what this
Yes,
was on?
we were.
Because I did talk to the 6th grade teachers and they said they don't have per se volunteer hours, but they said they can definitely get
Gather up.
volunteers, right?
So
That's not a problem.
We were thinking before it starts, that way they can enjoy when it starts.
Right.
And it's possible we'll do a little bit of an incentive for those who want to volunteer.
Yeah, because they offer, their incentives as well. So whatever you need, you can make that work with how many volunteers you
And
need.
here's some good news. I think our net's actually more like 2,000 if these projections are right. The square fee is off by an order of magnitude. It should only be $55, not $550.
Oh, I
Based
thought it was
on
2.75 per sale, and I did 2,000 sales, so I did two, 2.75% times $2,000 worth of sales.
Yeah, that should be $55, I think.
Okay, well,
Oh, well, then
That's a
that's,
good-
then
Which is awesome.
that's a
Yeah.
good
Like you
one.
don't have to buy the square meters.
Yeah,
Error in
We
bank,
have
error
chip
in school
reader now.
favor.
yeah, that's the thing about Square, it takes, the percentage seems like it's painful, but in the grand scheme,
Okay.
it really doesn't add up to much.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's good, then we're not off by.
All right, so at this point, what we would need to do is a motion to increase the expense line
2.75%.
For spring fling by, what, 1,500-ish? Is that what I'm looking at? Because it's currently 1,000, so we would need, 1,800 more.
Yeah,
You might wanna
we're
do
hoping.
Less than that, because it's only gonna be after that $500 comes
yeah.
off, it's only gonna be like 1,200
So,
more.
yeah, 12.
Maybe it'd be safe.
Even if we said 1,500 to.
Yeah, just to be safe, sure.
Okay. So is there a motion to increase the spring fling expense line to 2,500? Is that what we're looking at?
I move
Motion.
to increase the
Yeah, and increase the corresponding target too.
So I need it all in one motion.
We're not
Who wants to
used to
say it
that.
together?
Ready?
You have to move two line items.
Okay, so we're
Income and-
moving, the first motion is to approve the budget? Is that-
Increase.
Increase the budget by
$1,500.
$1,500. And, what's the second part?
that's it.
That's the first part, okay.
Increase the income by.
I second.
The budget.
Great.
Like what, 2,000?
Yeah, even 2,000 would be, that brings it up to 35, which is still $1,000 profit, and that's below the projection too.
I think it will do well.
Do I have a second?
Me.
All in favor? Anyone opposed?
We hope it's a warm night for the dunk tank.
You're our first volunteer. By the way, I sent an email to Costco. They sound promising for donating money, and the email actually says if they are our Platinum Star donator, they get to pitch the first ball.
Fantastic. I'll be ready for it.
Yeah, thank you for putting so much effort into this.
Yes.
It'll be awesome to have
Thank
a big
Well, and
marquee
when you're
fundraiser
talking
in the
to
spring.
Westfields too, and Stone, I know those students, I'm getting inundated with students at school that are looking at their service hours and saying, crap, I don't have enough. And so the spring is the perfect time for all those last minute middle and high school students who need hours. Whether it's supervising stuff or hauling stuff, that would be,
We might be increasing possibly some games that they could be in charge of.
they can handle money.
Did you say tattoos or?
Yeah, so there will be no cash at this event, hopefully, that we would, if we would just stick with the square, I guess beforehand. Kids won't be handling cash, for sure.
Yeah, well, whatever the sale is, adults need to be in charge of that,
Yes.
but whatever.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Couple other quick things, there are a couple announcements there about upcoming things. We've got the, family skate coming up in a couple weeks, the book fair shortly thereafter. Our March meeting, we have a representative about foster care who's coming and talking about opportunities there. Keep that memory, one thing I wanted to clarify, since that's happening on school property, we need to do the fundraising form for that, correct?
Say that again.
The Keep That Memory thing that we're doing on May 3rd. We had put in the room request for it. It is technically a fundraiser.
I know what you're talking about.
The sign.
Oh, it's the
meeting.
DIY thing. Yeah, the sign painting thing.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
Come on, you can't keep the memory.
oh my God.
We need to do fundraising paperwork.
Does everyone on
Is that
Facebook
on
touch
video?
that?
There's a lull.
I've not had enough caffeine.
This is like recorded and
That needs to get cut into the morning news.
What's the question? I'm sorry.
We need
I just need to make sure I have the fundraising form turned in. And so I can work with you on that to make sure that's done. Since it's on school property, we need to do the fundraising part. The last thing, at our executive meeting that we had a couple weeks ago, I guess it was, we discussed meeting membership, some of the things that we might be able to, one of the many things we discussed was about meeting attendance and how to boost that. Some of the ideas that came up is maybe offering babysitting or some activity that kids could do while they're here, so parents could feel free to bring their kids and have them occupied. Maybe doing a survey, maybe a Facebook poll about is there a better night or time? Like, is 7:30 better than 7? Is 8? What is it? Like, asking for information to see if this is okay. I know we still need to keep cognizant of what Stone and Westfield does with their PTA nights, and you have kids in more than one school, because some pupil place, they might have kids over at Bull Run and Rocky Run and all this other stuff in the area. So, but that might be something I could be asking you guys about, is putting a Facebook poll together, just kind of seeing what would incentivize you to
Has
be
there
here.
ever been, like, when you sign up for membership, like, when would be a good?
Not since I've been here. I don't know if it's been beforehand, but I've not seen it.
Do you know
Survey
when
may be good.
meets, what their night?
I'd have to look. I don't know. Yeah, I'm ignorant of places my children are not. And any ideas you have that we could put in that poll, kind of the options would be awesome. Food is always consideration.
I
Oh,
mean, you mentioned service hours and stuff, I mean, you want to get some, like, you want to try to see if people can work that out to where they're watching children.
yeah,
Like, you know, for childcare, you could try to work that out. It could be a repeatable thing where they could easily volunteer for that and get most of their service hours done. It's already banked.
that's true. And speaking of food, we were gonna talk about PTA getting dinner for the teachers that stay on math night.
March 14th.
March 14th,
Minimal.
which is Pi Day.
Need lots of pies.
And so, do we have a general request for how much? I don't know if that was, I don't remember talking about
Do
that.
you have teachers RSVP?
They run it, so we were gonna buy one for the teachers that don't leave, they stay here.
Quite a few of us that are already.
It's Chick-fil-A.
Well, to check and see what our sign up is so far, it's for different tables, different activities.
High night.
March 14th.
You know what the return of the teachers last year? We thought like 30 or 40 teachers.
I was really throughout the
Okay, so let's just say 30 teachers at $5, 150. $5 a head, I would imagine, for a box lunch, a box dinner or something. $5, $6.
You doing pies like pizza? You could do pepperonis in the shape.
Yeah.
So do we have a motion to,
200.
you wanna say 200?
200.
And whatever, if there's left over, then we sell it.
Food.
Westfield might like that, they're out of Chick-fil-A.
Motion 200 for the pie night for the staff for dinner. How's that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Anything else?
Lindsay Lee, who has gone to the conference, or is at the conference, will share a little bit in March.
Okay,
I know you have someone else coming too, but she'll be,
okay,
10 minutes or so.
okay,
Just to give us an update of what she learned.
okay.
She's our STEAM teacher. Currently.
Something else just flew through my head, lost, senior moment here, guys. If there is nothing else, then motion to adjourn?
Any questions online there, Becca, that we?
Any questions online?
No, we currently have 6. We've had a lot of people join in halfway through and just say thank you, this is such a wonderful idea. Some people are gonna come and pop back on and rewatch the whole thing, so.
Awesome.
That's about it. I have left the opportunity to ask questions, but nothing yet.
All right, awesome. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Lock that in, lock that in.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, but, oh.
Say goodnight.
So did what I say about the